Maharashtra has a lot of lush green mountains and hill ranges. Valleys beyond that mountains are astonishing. There are many traditional farming villages in the laps of these hills. It is the fourth day of our trekking through these hill ranges and valleys, and right now we are in the base of Kalsubai Peak, which is the highest peak in Maharashtra. In this episode, I am going to take you to Ratangad Fort through dense jungles and meadows with wildflowers. The highest peak in Maharashtra is located at the top of this hill. Right now, we are in the Bari village, which is the base village for Kalsubai Peak trekking. For the last 2 days, we were camping on the top of a house in this village. This is what got to see when I came out of the tent in the morning. Lush green hills in the Kalsubai mountain range. There are many waterfalls here and there. The weather seems to be favorable today also. The sun has already risen and the sky is also very clear. We can see the Kalsubai Peak from the base village itself. It was covered in the mist when we did the summit yesterday. Today, we are going to start trekking in the early morning. For the last 2 days, we stayed above the house near this restaurant. They also provide camping facilities and accommodation for the trekkers. Today, we are going to explore Ratangad Fort. The trek from the base of the Ratangad Fort to the peak is less than 10 kilometers. But the challenge here is reaching the Ratanwadi village, which is the base for Ratangad Fort, on time. First, we have to reach Shendi on the banks of the Bhandardara Dam, which is around 10 kilometers away from here, and then a 4-kilometer walk to the forest checkpost on the other side of the dam. The Ratanwadi village is located around 15 kilometers away from the forest checkpoint. Bus and shared jeeps are also available from Bari to Shendi, but after that we have to travel on roads with less public transport. Our hope is we can hitchhike from Bhandarda to Ratanwadi village and reach the Ratangad Fort before dark. We are waiting for a bus or a jeep to Shendi at the bus stop near to Bari village. It's been a while since we are waiting here and a bus came in the opposite direction. After waiting for half an hour, we got a shared jeep to Shendi. In the laps of this hill range, jeeps are widely used as the means of transportation. The route from Bari to Shendi is also scenic. Different parts of the Kalsubai hills are also visible from here. A lot of lush green mountains and hills ahead of us. Cloud is moving below the peaks. Many paddy fields in the valley. Small villages and settlements along the way. Small streams and canals are flowing around these villages. Since the climate is good, the views from this route are stunning. Now we have reached Shendi town. We have to walk around 4 kilometers to the forest checkpost on the banks of the Bhandardara Dam. Parts of the dam and its walls can be seen along the road. We have to descend this hill first and then climb another hill to reach the checkpost. Only a few vehicles are passing through this way and we are trying to get a ride, but no one is bothered. Let's keep walking, enjoying the view of the dam and the nearby hills. This Bhandarda Dam is built on Arthur Lake, which we have seen yesterday from Kalsubai Peak. We can see the water going out through the spillway from the dam. We have to cross this spillway to reach the forest checkpost. The water released through this spillway flows into Pravara River. The Pravara River originates from the Ratangad hills where we are going now. From those hills, the rainwater reaches this Arthur Lake through many small streams, and then to Pravara River through the spillway of Bhandardara Dam built on this lake. Also, the Pravara River is a major tributary of Godavari River in Maharashtra. You can see the power plant on the way. The plant is owned by Water Resource Department of Government of Maharashtra. This plant produces 46 megawatt of electricity using two turbines of 12 megawatt and 34 megawatt capacity. We are taking a shortcut here and walking through an old footbridge. We are getting closer to the forest checkpost. This is the shutter to control the overflow of this dam. In the last monsoon, the water rose above this bridge. Even though the shutter was opened and the water is released out, the inflow into the dam was more than that due to the continuous days of rain. There is a small village on the banks of this dam near the shutter. The temple in the middle of the village is visible from here. The panoramic view from the banks of Arthur Lake is spectacular. Today the climate looks good and we can see many hills around this dam. In the distance we can see Kalsubai Peak where we climbed yesterday and parts of the Ratangad Fort where we are going now. It seems very windy today and this area looks like a seashore. Bhandardara Dam is also a popular tourist destination. Tourists who come here to explore lush green mountains and villages in these valleys also visit the shores of Arthur Lake. We can see a lot of small boats waiting for the tourists along the shores. Due to COVID, the number of tourists visiting here has decreased significantly. We are waiting for a ride to Ratanwadi village near the dam. It's been more than hours since we are waiting here, but no luck so far. Sometimes buses and travelers pass us, but no one is stopping here. There is an ancient temple in Ratanwadi village. Most of these vehicles are taking tourists and pilgrims to that temple. Let's wait here some more time, enjoying the clouds moving over the dam in the hope that we will get a ride soon. After waiting for hours near the dam, we got a ride in the trunk of this car around 5 kilometers. We still have to travel another 10 kilometers to reach Ratanwadi village and then 6 kilometer trekking to Ratangad Fort. The banks of the Arthur Lake can be seen from here. Let's walk towards Ratanwadi village, seeing the beautiful views of this dam and the nearby hills. The path to Ratanwadi village passed through the banks of the Bhandardara Dam and the foothills of the nearby mountains. We can see numerous waterfalls on these mountains when it rains here. These hanging cliffs and lush green meadows are part of the Kalsubai Peak Wildlife Sanctuary. The further we walk on this route, many bigger mountains are ahead of us. In the monsoon, all these mountains will be greenish and stunning. Once the monsoon is over, these hills and meadows will be quickly dry. There are a few villages and settlements around the paddy fields along the way. Life in these villages will be quite challenging as there are no means of public transportation in these villages. After walking 4 more kilometers, we got another ride. This is the main mode of transportation for these villagers. They used to travel by putting benches in the goods carriers going to the town with vegetables. There is no seating facility for all the riders here. Some of the children and elders are sitting on the floors. Few passengers have reserved their seats on the top of the vehicle. Outside the cities, this is how the life in Maharashtra. Most of the passengers are returning from the town after buying the rice and pulses for the next month. It was really a good experience to spend some time with these villagers. Finally, we reached the Ratanwadi village by noon. It was raining here when we reached here. There is an ancient temple in this village called Amrideshwar Shiva temple. The children from the village gathered around the pilgrims to sell the wildflowers for puja. We can see different colors of wildflowers along the way to the Ratangad Fort. This temple attracts a lot of pilgrims to here. Most of the tourists coming to Bhandardara region also visit this temple. The temple is completely carved out of the stones. It is believed that the temple was built around 900 AD by Shilhara dynasty. The pillars and walls of the temple are decorated with carvings of Gandharvas and dancers. The architecture of this temple is Hamadpandi style. A bull sculpture can also be seen in front of the temple. There is an ancient water tank near the temple. There are many engravings and sculptures on the walls of the tank. The temple is located in the middle of the paddy fields in the village. It is getting evening now and we have to reach the Ratangad Fort before dark. We still have to climb another 6 kilometers to reach the fort. So without wasting any time in the village, we started our journey towards Ratangad Fort. The trail to the peak from the village is along this trail. We have to cross many paddy fields to the foot of the hill and then a hard climb to the fort. But the views from this path are astonishing. The valley on this side looks scenic. Many big mountains around us. By this time, most of the mountain peaks are already covered with thick mist. During monsoon, rice will be cultivated all over this valley and it adds greenish to the landscape. Now we have entered the forest area. Most of the lands here are bare rocks. That's why only small bushes and trees grow here. Although the rocks look beautiful when it is filled with tiny green grasses. We can see Ratangad mountain ranges ahead of us. Most of the area in the mountain are already hidden in the mist. After the sunset, crossing this forest in the darkness will be challenging. So let's keep walking without spending much time on the way. There is an adventure trekking spot on the other side of the mountain called Ratanwadi. The name means Valley of Darkness. It is a gorge cut by wild water streams gushing down ferociously from neighboring mountains during the monsoon for the past thousands of years. The gorge spans around 1.5 kilometers in length and 200 feet in depth. In some places, the width of this Sandan Valley is less than 5 feet only. We have to climb down many big rock patches on the way while descending the valley. To reach the bottom of it, we have to do rappelling at multiple points. That's why many adventure lovers visit Sandan Valley. The base village of this Sandan Valley is Samrat village, which is 4 kilometers away from Ratanwadi. Also, there is another direct route from Ratangad Fort to Sandan Valley. Now we have crossed the paddy fields and going to start climbing to the Ratangad Fort. The path is less steep here and we can walk comfortably here. But after a while, the slope of the hill is increasing gradually. We have to step on big rocks while ascending the fort. The path to the fort is covered with thick bushes and hence the sunlight is not reaching the ground here. It is getting very dark here. Climbing the mountain carrying this heavy backpack is challenging, but the views from the top are our motivation. After crossing the bushes, we reached a slope of this mountain. We can see many mountain folds around here. The shades of the greens from here are astonishing. There is a small waterfall here. The path to the waterfall is slippery. Moreover, the mountain is very steep here. One side of the path is a steep abyss, so we had to be very careful while walking over here. It is a stunning scenery from here. Many mountains and hills around us. Numerous waterfalls all over the mountain. Any traveler will lost in this mind-blowing natural beauty. By the time we reached here, we have lost the way to the peak and reached somewhere else. I have done this trekking a few years back, but I don't remember this plateau. It was raining here and we couldn't look at the map. After the rain, we checked the map and realized that we are moving in the opposite direction. We should have taken the path to the mountain our left before climbing this hill. But we didn't see any other path in the forest. Now the question is, what will we do next? Going back and finding the right path is not a good option because it's already dark here. Now let's see how to reach Ratangad Fort from here. Anyway, let's keep climbing till we find another path. Even though we lost the path, the views from this plateau are really breathtaking. I'm not sure we can reach the fort before dark. We have to climb a little more to find a way to the neighboring hill. I hope we can find an actual path to the fort somewhere on that mountain. After the rain, most of the area is getting covered in the thick mist. The plateau has started blooming with wildflowers. Most of them are white colored flowers. We can see a lot of wildflowers all over the Ratangad hills. If we come here at the end of September, the entire region will be full of yellow flowers. After a short walk, we came across a muddy path. Right now we don't know where this path comes from and where it goes. But I think the path to the left will take us either to the fort or to the right path. Also, from here, we can see the valley on the other side of the mountain. There is a small lake at a distance and a farming lands around it. After a short walk enjoying the wildflowers, we entered another forest area. The sun has already set, the top of the mountain and the path is already covered in the mist. Around 2 kilometers of walk through this dense forest took us to a junction in the middle of the jungle. There is a small tea shop here and the routes from here to all directions are well marked on a board here. After losing the path on plateau, we reached here on Samrat Ratangad trekking route. Now, climbing the mountain in the darkness is very challenging, especially in the rain. We are getting very close to the fort in the Ratangad. The path is already dark and climbing the hill in the weather is a bit challenging. We can see the path properly as the whole area is covered in the mist. There are a few caves at the top of Ratangad Fort, and we are going to stay tonight in one of the caves. I will show you the stunning views across Ratangad Fort tomorrow morning.